What's up guys, Mickle here, and how many times have you heard that a flip of the switch moment for XRP is unrealistic? Well, in this video, I want to share with you a flip of the switch moment for XRP that is right around the corner that is going to completely change it going forward. This is one of the biggest things I think that's going to influence XRP in becoming the #1 adopted digital asset for upgrading our financial system, and almost no one is talking about it. I also, towards the end of the video, want to show you why we could be about to go into one of the most bullish markets we have seen in a very long time. A lot of people are extremely pessimistic on where we're headed. I want to share an alternate view that I think everyone should be paying attention to. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. Make sure to take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It's really going to help me out so much. Also, if you ever need a good place to buy some XRP or the Flare token, make sure to check out my favorite exchange Uphold down in the description of this video. With that said though, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So I want to start this video off and quickly talk about something pretty exciting that happened last night. It looks like Stuart Alderati, the chief legal officer at Ripple, had a meeting with Paul Greenwald, the chief legal officer at Coinbase, and this is extremely exciting because finally, after what seems like forever, the cryptocurrency community is finally teaming up to take on the SEC. Now, there's a couple reasons I think this is really good news, but one that's not really a legal matter, but also just good news for XRP holders is the fact that Coinbase is clearly showing that they're not a bunch of Bitcoin maximalists. This is something that a lot of people in this community were extremely worried about, but what we're seeing right here is they are more than happy to work together, and I think this really does get rid of any kind of skepticism that Coinbase wouldn't list XRP once it gets clarity. Obviously, Coinbase made some serious blunders around delisting XRP, and I have pointed that out in so many videos, I don't want to get into it, but the fact of the matter is, I think this is a really important gesture we're seeing right here to show that these two parties are going to work together in the future. Now, Ripple and Coinbase are by far the two biggest cryptocurrency-based companies out of the US. The next one you could kind of throw in there would be Circle, and the fact that now these three parties are likely going to be working together, Circle's pretty much directly under Coinbase, it just bodes really well for all three protocols being very important players in our future financial system. And as we move more towards digital assets, it's just really nice to see these parties working together rather than fighting each other or doing things like tribalism and maximalism. Now, the other very interesting thing going on here is Coinbase has had a lot of meetings with the SEC, and so has Ripple. They're obviously both in ongoing litigation, and what we know from the SEC is they have been likely telling both of these different companies completely different things in terms of cryptocurrency regulation. I'm sure they're both going to likely spill some things to one another on how they should fight the SEC going forward. Now, Ripple's case is obviously coming to an end. I mean, who knows, there could be appeal, it could go to trial, but Coinbase looks like they're really going into the thick of things, so I'm sure Ripple's going to have some very interesting things to tell the chief legal officer of Coinbase. Ultimately, the SEC is in a really bad spot because they are fighting two powerhouse companies right here, two extremely good legal teams, and the SEC just factually is on the wrong side of the law. I've been sharing conversations I've been having with a former SEC official a lot on this channel, and this guy is really honest. He's one of the few good people who I think did work at the SEC. Now, me and him have very different views on cryptocurrencies, but at the end of the day, when it comes to a legal matter, at least what he says makes sense. He's not out here saying absurd things that really don't fit into the law, and instead he's really been pushing the point forward that he really disagrees with what the SEC has done in the cryptocurrency industry, but he really thinks it's more of Congress's fault than the SEC. Now, I don't think the SEC should be suing companies left and right with no clarity, but at the end of the day, he is kind of right. The SEC doesn't make the rules, the SEC enforces them, and the rules clearly are not clear. Now, Gary Gensler's been lying about that. That's a whole different discussion. But at the end of the day, this is a lot of Congress's fault as well as the SEC's. Either way, though, I think it's pretty interesting because through conversations I've been having with him, and this actually just kind of got admitted today again, he does not think XRP itself should be a security on the secondary market. Now, you can ask this guy as much as you want until you're blue in the face, and he refuses to acknowledge that the SEC is calling XRP itself a security in this case. He says that he thinks the SEC should win this case, but purely based off Ripple sales. Now, if you want to debate whether Ripple sales were a securities offering or not, that's a fine debate to have. Some people might say yes, some people might say no, but at the end of the day, it's just a slap on the wrist. It's really not anything impactful for Ripple's business going forward. The part that doesn't make sense that the SEC alleged in this case is that XRP itself is a security, and even secondary sales of the asset are a securities transaction. This is the part that not even Mark agrees with, and I think this is pretty shocking. Mark, who is someone who stands up for the SEC constantly in these Twitter debates, not even he can get behind calling XRP itself a security. I think this just really shows how absurd the SEC's case is. Mark has been doing this for 30 years, he's a high-profile securities lawyer, and not even he can get behind the absurd claim the SEC is making that XRP itself is a security. Now, this is obviously going to present them massive troubles going forward in this case, and at the end of the day, I think even Mark agrees with one basic premise. The SEC likely had a case against Ripple, but they litigated this case in such an overbroad way that they might end up losing based on some of the random stuff they threw in there. The SEC likely could have won a case saying that Ripple sold XRP as a security in the past. But the SEC moved to some crazy assertion that XRP itself is the security. And the SEC is doing the same thing with Coinbase. Coinbase is coming into the SEC saying, hey, here are our products. How do we make them work in a securities regime? And the SEC is refusing to go forward with clear regulations to make that happen. This is why these two lawyers meeting together is such a big issue for the SEC. The SEC has clearly taken positions from a legal standpoint that don't make any sense. They contradict each other, and we have seen that throughout this case. The SEC's own past officials don't agree with the SEC strategies, and now the people the SEC is attacking are working together to fight back. The SEC had a hard enough time fighting these companies on their own, but if they are working together, the SEC is going to be in some massive trouble. Ultimately, I love this move from Coinbase and Ripple, not only from a business perspective to help them grow into the behemoths of the cryptocurrency industry, but a legal perspective as well. The SEC is not going to win fighting these two, especially with how contradictory they have been. Stuart Alderati said it a while ago, and so did Brad Garlinghouse. The SEC is on the wrong side of the law here. They're on the wrong side of history, and it's things like this that should really make the SEC scared. So now I want to move on and talk about the flip of the switch moment for XRP, because for a while, everyone talked about a flip of the switch moment for XRP. A lot of people in the community kind of got mad at it and said there wouldn't be a flip of the switch moment, but there actually is one that I think is extremely realistic, one that's easy to see, and no doubt really is a flip of the switch moment. And that is legal clarity for XRP. XRP is the one cryptocurrency right now that is about to get certain legal clarity on a specific date, and it's going to be a flip of the switch moment. XRP is going to go from the least compliant cryptocurrency on the market to the most compliant cryptocurrency on the market with a single judgment from Judge Torres. And no other cryptocurrency has the ability for something like this to happen. XRP is going to be the most compliant cryptocurrency on the market once it has a clear definition from the court. And no one has any idea what that could do for XRP's price. Institutions right now want to get into cryptocurrency, and Gary Gensler has said that himself in past interviews. This is something that not a lot of people understand. Institutions, big banks, payment providers want to get into cryptocurrencies bad, but they can't. They are so conservative with their legal matters, they just cannot justify touching this stuff when the SEC is threatening to call it all an unregistered security. But if XRP gets a clear definition from the court, it is going to be the first cryptocurrency with certain clarity that these massive institutions can get their hands on. And we have no idea what this could do for the price. What you're looking at right here, this massive bull run on this chart right here, this was just all speculation. This was the initial wave of people understanding what XRP was. People just starting to wrap their head around, hey, how could this be used in a future financial system? It's all speculation. It's all hype back here. Yes, Ripple was building some utility. Yes, there was some small scale stuff going on, but it's nothing compared to what's coming. Once XRP gets legal clarity, all the big stuff can be ushered in. All the things we know that's going to happen can finally be put into progress because the legal certainty will be there. And who knows what that will do for the price? We could easily see a run bigger than the one we saw back in 2018. Everyone tries to say that this run in 2018 will never be replicated. We will never see anything like this. This was just a speculative bull run. This was just something that happened when a bunch of people learned what XRP could one day do in the future. We haven't even seen anything happen that is based on what XRP is actually doing. And that is only going to come once we have legal clarity. So I think one of the biggest flip of the switch moments for XRP is going to be this court case. Institutions are literally going to fundamentally change the way they look at an asset like XRP, and that could do monumental things for the price. I think this is something we all have to keep in the back of our mind because this is something that could happen at any given point. And if you look at the chart back here, there is absolutely no indication that XRP was going to do something like this. And I have a feeling we are going to see the same exact thing happen again. There is no reason, there is no logic, there is no technical analysis out there that tells you that something like this wouldn't happen once XRP got clarity, because no one can predict the future, no one knows what's going to happen, and it is such a bigger event than whatever caused this run in the past. And I want to finish this video off with one last thing that needs to happen in order for us to get some good momentum in this market, and that is to enter a new monetary policy regime. Right now, we are in a very tight period where assets like cryptocurrencies, assets like stocks, simply can't get any positive momentum. We have the Fed hiking rates, we have them breaking banks, and everyone is scared to lend, everyone is scared to invest because it is a very scary time to be doing anything even slightly risky with your money. But what we know based on history that is likely very around the corner is once the Federal Reserve goes a little too far, they are going to have to do a complete 180 on their policy. We are likely very close to that happening. Go onto your phone right now, look up any regional bank and take a look at the stock price. There is a good chance it is down 20 to 30%. Right now, the Federal Reserve is breaking things and they are breaking things fast. They are going to have to pivot on this strategy, and Lord Vendetta nails it here. We could be entering the biggest quantitative easing cycle of our lifetime. This would be massively bullish for cryptocurrencies. This would allow money to flow back into the market, and everything we have seen in the past 2 years of all of these assets getting destroyed would have just been the buying opportunity of a lifetime before we get a real cycle of real utility where these assets get mainstream adoption. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does mean so much. And for now, Mickle out.